Hey, good morning. Chuck here with Apple Drains. Today we're going to take a look at unclogging the kitchen sink. There's a couple of different things that you could take a look at. We just posted a great video from a woman in Singapore, Flora the Explorer, and she showed us how to clean a trap line in Singapore. And if you notice, that trap line's a lot different. The P-trap is a lot different than ours, and a few other things. I'm going to point those out here. But a real simple thing that you, the homeowner, can do rather than have to call a plumber, roto-rooter, whoever, save yourself, $100 or more for just a few things that you could do. Let's take a look. Okay, so a lot of sinks are double sinks. You can see this one. And this one's actually got a higher sink and a lower sink. But underneath, there's still only one drain that comes out. You see it? Here's the higher sink on this side, and then here's the lower sink, but there's still just one drain line that goes out and over to the vent. So how do you clean this? Definitely we can take the trap off, and I'll show you how to do that, but there's another way that you can do this if it's a double sink. That is, you've got a plunger. You can put the plunger in one side, and you take your stopper and you put it on the other side. And basically you're going to hold down that stopper and push on the plunger. If you don't have a stopper, that when you push the plunger and pull it back, all it's going to do is push water up and over to the other side. Remember, there's two sinks. So if I push with the plunger on this side, it's just going to come down, hit the stoppage, and it's just going to push that back and right up and out the other side. So you got to plug up this side or the other side as you plunge. See how it moves? So we have to hold that down. So a couple things on that double sink, as I explained. If I push on this side right here, okay, and I don't hold this plunger down, watch what happens. See how it just pops up and down? But if I hold that down and I plunge, I can hear that water going down through the drain. Okay? So if you have a backed up sink, you've got water, backed up in here, and you have a plunger, you can probably open this up if the problem exists between here and the vent. Okay, the vent drops down, allows air to come through so you don't get that gurgling sound. But there could be a stoppage in the vent as well. But if it's not, perhaps you have enough power if you have a good plunger. And a good plunger, by the way, has this little bottom insert to go down into the strainer. And when you push and pull, remember the actual breaking up of the stoppage is the suction back, not the pushing down, but the suction back. And you might be able to break that stoppage free. Just like that. Real simple. Okay, here's an American Standard Jtrap. Yeah, this one's got a little bit of a spongy thing on it to give it some movement, but still the same. It has a Jtrap. And there's two lock nuts that hold that in place. Maybe something dropped down in here, or perhaps it's just so full of grease and grime and silt and all that the plunger cannot push or suck this out of this section right here. So you have to take it apart. Remember that this thing has water in it. Let's undo these nuts. That one's loose. This one we take off. And as soon as I pull it apart, you can see there's water down inside. Yeah, there's a lot of grease in there as well. What keeps it watertight is that washer. That washer, as you tighten this up, it has a washer that keeps it tight. On the J-trap or on the P-trap, notice it has a ring already built in. No washer is needed back here as you tighten this up, especially with PVC. So real simple. However, so we see that this is all clean, but what if the problem exists from here back over and down into the vent? So we'd have to take off this, send a cable down through it all the way to clean out that line to the vent. Now you have the next problem. At the vent, it could just be a T. So your cable has a 50% chance of going up or down. Does that make sense? Hopefully your plumber put in a nice Y or even a sanitary T, so that the water comes over and is forced down into the vent, down into the actual drain. Remember, the vent allows air, as water comes through, it pushes that air up, and it allows, so there's no gurgling taking place, and it drains much faster. And putting it back together, same thing. I really liked how Flora did that. She did a nice job. She explained it very well. She cleaned it. I even liked the toothbrush. That was amazing. That was amazing. That was a very clean trap that they had. Remember what it looked like? It was basically, it just had a clean out at the bottom of it, and there was an O-ring that held the plastic piece. That's actually the trap, and much different than ours, but that's Asia, and it works exactly the same. So we've got some water in the sink. We've got the line is open. The drain line is open. Take a look. And you can hear it. You see how fast that water goes down? That's because we have a vent, and that vent line is clean. It took that water right out of there. If you don't have a vent line, or the vent line is blocked, perhaps it's got a bird's nest in it. Remember, it goes up through the roof. I don't know. But maybe it's blocked. What it'll do is it'll bounce up and down, and it'll swirl real slow. And that tells you that there's still a stoppage down there. Maybe you got all this clean. Maybe all this is clean under here and all the way down. But if the vent line is blocked, it won't allow that water to flow freely. Hey, this is Chuck with Apple Drains, reminding you that if you believe you can do something, I guarantee you can do it. Have a great day.